Hello and welcome back. I am Reverend Dr. Lori Williams. Today I'm going to talk to you about spiritual gifts. The truth of it is everyone has spiritual gifts. We're born with them. We all have an intuition. Intuition is our spiritual gifts at work. There's no separation between us and our gifts. There's nothing that we have to do necessarily to get our gifts. They're already there. Now, there may be things that we need to do in order to access them. In my case, my story goes back to 2014. I'm going to be kind of talking in code a little bit for this video just because I don't want to red flag anything because of the content and what I'm going to say. But I had struggled with massive depression for about 20 years of my life, and to a point where I had planned the end of my life more times than I care to remember. And I got to a point, I literally just got to a breaking point one day where it was like, okay, I'm either going to heal or I'm going to end it all, because this isn't living. I was barely surviving. And I got on to a healing journey that I had no idea. It was not my intention to bring my gifts through. I kind of like jokingly say, like, when you're in high school and you're trying to figure out what it is you want to do with the rest of your life, being a psychic, energy healer, medium, all of the stuff that I am, is not a box that you tick. It was never even in my realm of things I wanted to do with my life. So ultimately, it's like that day that I decided that I was either going to heal. I gave myself 30 days. I'm either going to heal myself or that's it. I'm not doing this half-assed existence anymore. And literally that day, everything started to shift for me. Everything literally started to shift. I just wanted to heal myself. That was it. Through the healing, the more I healed myself, the more I released traumas, the more I released fear, my gifts started coming through. And that's very true with a lot of my clients as well. When you heal your traumas keep you very much in your human self. And as you start to heal them, you're releasing those things that are tethering you and allowing you to connect more with your higher self. So I always had these gifts. I didn't know it until I was 34 years old, but I've always had these gifts. They're still actually working on coming through, and they're still, like, I just had new healing come through. It started between Christmas and New Year's of 2023, and it just finished coming through in May of 2024. I have at this point about, I think, 21 gifts last time I counted. And I always tell people, like, I'm not special because I have gifts. I'm special for the way they come through. We're all special and unique in how our gifts come through and what we're meant to do with them. All mine come back to healing. The amount of miracles I've been able to witness through healing, the energy healing, even through talking to the dead, has been so healing to people that are struggling and stuck in grief. And it comes down to being able to offer that as a service to humanity. That's huge. Like, that's what I'm here to do. That's how it showed up for me, and that's what I'm here to do. So ultimately, I say all of this to say that we all have our own spiritual gifts. How they're going to come through, when they're going to come through, if they're going to come through, is 100% up to you. It's 100% up to you. It doesn't mean that you have to learn how to have gifts. You already have them. You just have to learn how, essentially, to get out of your own way and to allow them to come through. And a lot of times, even with myself, people experience the being scared of the gifts, especially when, talking to the dead. But the truth of it is the dead aren't separate from us. They're not in, like, this far off magical place. They're just at a higher frequency than what we are. Our physical human body is very dense and very low vibe, unless we're actually working on bringing our vibration higher. And when you do that, you're just naturally going to connect with people that are no longer in a physical body. They're not separate from us. That's why myself and people like me that are mediums can connect with people that are no longer here and communicate with them. And even people that aren't aware of their mediumship abilities. I was actually talking to someone yesterday, and she goes, I'm just very open to whatever comes through. And she's not actively trying to bring her gifts through, but she can feel when people are around her that are no longer in the physical body. She can sense different messages that they send to her because she's just open to it. So you don't have to necessarily believe in it. The truth of it is, it's going to be there whether you believe in it or not. Your belief in it just allows you to either open yourself up to it or to close yourself off from it. That's all belief does. Belief is not a factor in whether or not you have any gifts or abilities. So, if you've ever wondered if you have gifts, the answer is yes, 100% you do. If you ever wondered what they are, pay attention to the things that are your normal. For an example, as a healer, people will tend to tell me their life story. I'm at the grocery store, people just are randomly talking to me, telling me, every ailment they've ever had since birth. And it's not even that I don't bring it up in conversation. I don't bring up in conversation what I do or who I am. I mean, like, certain people have access to me with that, but not everyone, and especially not strangers. Like, I'm not just going to go up like, hey, I do this and this and this. It's like, if I'm let's say, like, I don't go up and tell people I'm a doctor. I don't go up and tell people that I'm a reverend. I don't do that kind of stuff. I don't tell people what my work is. You build up to that kind of conversation. But they'll just come to me and start telling me all this stuff. That's a very, very, very true sign of a healer. But that would probably be normal to you, whether you realize you're a healer or not. You're like, oh my gosh, like, yes, that's always happened to me. That happens all the time. Or people will say, like, just being in your presence is so soothing and healing for them. You'd be like, oh my gosh, yes, that happens all the time. All of those things are signs that you're a healer and you've always been a healer. And I mean, yeah, you can definitely do things like, if it resonates with you, like to you get your Reiki attunements and things like that, if that's what you want to do. But the truth of it is we all come to this earth with our own healing abilities. I personally, as of right now, I know of 5 different of my own healing abilities that I have. That they're energy healing, similar to Reiki, but it's not Reiki. And they've just come through on their own. The more I heal, the more things I do that are spiritually aligned with myself, the more these gifts come through. And my story isn't the only one like it, if that makes sense. I mean, I help my clients all the time do the exact same thing that I did and bring their gifts through. And I've been doing that for the last 10 years. So anyone has the ability to allow their gifts to come through. Everyone does. And healing 100% is the key to that, to bringing that through, to bringing all of them through. And the truth of it is once they come through, you just use them. You're going to have to learn about them. This newest healing that came through, finished coming through in May, I'm still learning about it. It might take me the next year and a half to learn about it. I actually kind of have a little bit of a joke with my clients where I'm like, it took me 6.5 years to learn about like healing and things in general, like my spiritual journey. What took me 6.5 years to learn, I can teach in 6 1-hour sessions. And that's 100% true because I've had to learn the hard way. I've learned everything that I know by failing. And ultimately, like, you got to be open to failing as well. I don't honestly believe that there is any such thing as failing, because you're learning and you're growing and it's still helping you to get to who you are and where you're meant to be. But ultimately, it comes down to it that if you want your own gifts to come through, start a healing journey. And it's only a matter of time before your gifts are going to start showing up. If you already have them, start using them. Start building. It's like a muscle you need to flex in order to use it, in order for it to get stronger. Your gifts are exactly the same. The more you use them, the stronger they're going to get. You got to learn about them and how they work for you. What comes through? What does that mean? All of these different things. Give yourself time. Give yourself space. I mean, the time's going to pass anyway. You might as well make it count, and you might as well be working on something that truly matters to you. thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you back here next time.